click an OK on that.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Right, I'm getting some water.
Yay! And John just left.
Nope, I'm grabbing some water.
We
Grabbing my
started
water
and he
bottle.
left.
That's
Done.
how we start.
That's something I would do. Okay.
That's funny. Hello,
So,
goodbye.
um, welcome to Great Goodness. Whether you're watching on Facebook Live or you're watching this on YouTube later, it doesn't matter. We're just so glad that you're watching. We're so excited. Karen, my co-host, Karen Stewart.
Hello,
I'm,
hello.
and I always forget I'm Angela Driven and our guest, John Dutton. We're so glad to have him here today and learn about all the goodness that he brings into the world. People cannot say enough good things about you, John, and so I'm really excited to hear more. But before we do, we will let Karen draw an oracle card for us.
All right, I am ready today. I've been shuffling the dickens out of this deck. So today we are going to pull a card from the Urban Crow Oracle, which
Mm.
is designed and written by MJ Cullinane, and she uses independent publishers to produce her decks. This is the back of each of the cards. I love her artwork so much. So we're not asking any questions. We're not looking for any guidance today. I'm gonna pull a card and we're gonna look at it and just see whatever the imagery speaks to us today. So, all right, here we go. This is me pulling a card, my version of pulling a card. And I'm gonna take the first look at it because Angie always asks questions about it and everybody's squinting to try to see what's on there. Oh, oh, okay. This is mimicry. And I will tell you that I'm glad I looked at this up close. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, is that a dog?
That's a dog.
That's
Mimicry.
so crazy. You were just talking about your poems about your
My
dog.
dog's about my dog.
I know,
Yep,
right?
that's
Okay.
awesome.
So let me tell you, this bird has something to say here, and it's very tiny. So it says, Come here, come here, Scout. Those are the words coming out of the bird's mouth. So, mimicry.
I don't
That's
think
interesting,
you've
right?
pulled a card with words on it before. I mean,
I
other than the word at the bottom, but
I
not.
know I've never seen one of her cards with the
This
animal having words coming out of its mouth.
uh do you use these for writing prompts or anything?
I
I
do
don't.
every day.
Right, because I was like, that's what my kid, I would use this in my class where I'm like, all right, this is our prompt for the day, and I'll throw it out.
You
And
know that it's so good, John. I have friends that I write with a lot of times, and we'll pull cards,
yep.
and everybody will look at the same card and take a set amount of time and write in response to it. And it's so interesting because you bring yourself to the card.
And everybody sees something differently. So,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Yep. So yeah, because right away I'm thinking about my dog. My dog is a golden doodle, except it doesn't look golden at all. It looks more like a black. It's black and it's black. It's white with black spots. So, and yes, it doesn't look anything like a doodle. It's so weird, and and he's a great
But
dog.
and this card
So,
has you thinking about your dog.
yeah,
I'm I'm thinking about this the bird saying, "Come here, Scout." So that's the mimicry, right? Like the apparently this bird has heard
the owner's
somebody
saying right.
saying, "Come here,
And of
Scout."
course, Scout looks like he's just obviously going to obey that call as he sits there looking absolutely blank faced, like, what's going on?
Right, which may not be what the bird was hoping for Scout to come to the bird, right?
Right.
It's like,
So,
does this bird know what come here, Scout actually means?
yes, I've had that look many times from my dog. What?
Right.
What? Come here? No, I'm staying right where I am. So, yep.
I'm kind of taking this as a lesson in mimicry. Like consider if you're mimicking something, maybe think about what the consequences might be.
True, because you don't know where that dog's going to be going.
Right, right.
Who's
Yeah.
he going to be listening to? Especially if it's just if now I don't know. I think the is it the parrot or a parakeet or something like that? It was the world's greatest mimic that can actually sound like the person
Ooh,
as
right. What is
Yeah.
it?
well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember,
I can't
but
remember which bird it is, but
I think there's one out there.
Hmm.
In fact, one of the we start the year off with murder mysteries, and one of the murder mysteries has um, the victim has been strangled, and actually the parakeet in the birdcage has been killed as well. And the kids always wonder, why did they kill the bird? And
Mm.
you could, I would think, and that's why I bring up maybe it's a parakeet, maybe something was said that it's repeating the person who has done it, or that's why they have to get rid of the
yes.
bird. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
yep,
Right.
yep. What type of bird is it? Very uh, is always that plays into all the every year I seem to get that why they kill the bird in my mystery.
Yeah. Y'all really, because there's a dog on this, and I am like a dog lover, like a fanatic.
Yeah.
I only had positive thoughts, like my heart just felt warm. But then as y'all were talking about the word mimicry, I like went down all these deep dark holes of like repeating what you hear. Like when is that not such a good thing? And
Right.
Right.
or
Oh, you could go either way. You know, you could go, it's a good thing, it could be a bad thing, you never know. I mean, notice they did pick a black, almost raven for this picture. So
Yeah.
you could go down the deep end, very quickly
yeah.
right there if you wanted to.
And
Um,
it,
did you right? I didn't see it yet, but it's on my list. It's a horror movie called Good Boy,
mm-mm.
and
Oh no.
yep, and it takes the place of the main character is the dog. It's because of all these horror movies that are out. How would the pets react during this trauma that all the people in the house are dealing with?
Mm,
And it's
yeah.
called Good
Oh,
Boy. And the main character, it's told in the point of view by the dog, so it's always through his eyes. And oh, they knew the people who did the movie. You don't have to worry about the dog dying because they
Oh,
knew if the dog dies, there would be hell to pay.
that's
right.
right.
Dog lovers in
Yes.
the world would definitely not be happy. So
Right.
the dog survives on
Okay,
Good
that's
Boy.
good to know
So if you're
going
out
in.
there and you want a good movie and you're a dog lover and you're a horror fan, Good Boy would be for you.
Okay.
So,
I'm not
yep.
a horror fan, but now I kind of want to watch it because I
I know,
this is the
right?
perspective
Yeah.
of the dog.
Oh
But
yes.
this even made me think like not even about like just repeating what people say, and maybe this has just been on my mind in general. Um, but how often I know it's not the same, but how often we imitate or maybe want to imitate others or maybe
Yeah.
want to be something different than what we are.
Mm.
And this made me think of that too. And I guess then I think of pets and I think that I always think if I can see myself through my dog's eyes, I'm absolutely perfect. I mean,
Right?
Yeah, I'm also thinking that the mimicry, being a teacher, I'm like, I've say directions 1,000 times over and over and over again. So I'm like, yep, I'm I feel like I'm a human tape recorder at sometimes,
Right.
over and over and over again with the saying the same directions
no,
3, 4, 5, 10 times.
I see cursive writing behind you. So what grades do you teach?
I teach middle school. I teach this year. I'm teaching seventh grade creative writing, and I have one class of reading.
Wow.
So four creative writing, one reading.
Okay, I know I'm not supposed to ask you anything until we have your bio, but it's a good time to ask the question. So because I mean that's pretty exciting to get to teach the creative writing. Like, what is that what you always wanted to teach? And how does that feel to teach it? Like, what are the challenges, but what are the rewards?
Huh. Um, I'll be honest, I got into the educational field because I wanted to coach sports. And so
Ah,
3 o'clock, they let you go and coach. And all other professions, you can't leave to go and coach. So you're sort of stuck. So I was like,
Yeah,
I picked education so I can go and coach in the afternoon and
I
it
think that's
I loved
awesome.
it. I
Yeah.
loved it. 3 o'clock is an awesome time. Get to see all the guys going out to play sports or girls going out to play sports. It's a good time.
Yeah, and
Oh,
sports do a lot of the same. I was a youth sports performance trainer, and I think sports bring out a lot of the same things that being able to write to like express yourself creatively do
yeah,
too. So I can
I
see.
also think sport. I try to tell everybody sports is important because for a lot of the boys, if you don't have sports, a lot of them aren't coming to school. I mean, it's that
Mm,
simple. They're coming to school because they want to play sports, and so that's the big thing. And I try to tell them it's also great when you go. Hopefully, you all graduate and you want to go to college and do something afterwards and find a college where you can play some sports because sports helps make it so much easier in college. You get
yeah.
people, you get friends, you
mhm.
get activities. You work hard, you're tired, but you still got you know, your core group of guys to hang out with. So I always think sports is very important in the world
Yeah.
because it, opens up. It's like a melting pot, just like school is. You got
Hmm.
everybody from different backgrounds coming together, trying to
Hmm.
do the best for
Yeah,
a team.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yep, sports is important.
Then how'd you end up in creative writing? Were you already a poet or a
Nope,
writer?
nope. I think I was always creative, but it never really stuck when I was a kid. I always tell the story. I remember being very creative in fourth grade because I remember nothing else in fourth grade except we had these great art desks that could flip up. So it was literally slanted and you can draw. And we had, so now Steve Jardine and I sat in the back. I was closer to the door, and he was like two seats, maybe four seats away from me in the back. But we sat in the back, and all we did is draw and
Mm.
draw and draw. We get these big sheets of paper, and as long as we weren't talking, they just let us go. And I remember now, Steve was amazing. This guy could draw. I mean, faces, people, everything. Now, my specialty, I could draw like the room and the windows and the doors and everything, but people couldn't do that. So it was all stick figures, little stick figures
Mm.
invading the room. And so I'd have, a stick figure flying an paper airplane across the room and climbing up the side of the desk like the army men would do, and that's what I remember. That was my first time remembering that I liked to write or at least be creative.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
I wasn't a reader until 11th grade, and in 11th grade, because if it wasn't for comic books, I wouldn't have read. Okay, so
Mm.
I
Yeah.
had science fiction uh, comic book delivered to my house was called the Micronauts. I still have every issue of the Micronauts at home, and I love the Savage Sword of Conan, the Barbarian. Loved him. His was black and white, and and it was called The Brave and the Bold, and it was Batman would always get teamed up with another superhero, and they would face two villains. So for my quarter, way back then, my quarter, I would get four main characters, two good, two bad. So that was I never that was my reading until 11th grade. Now, in 11th grade, we had silent reading instituted throughout the school. Okay? And so, third period, you had to sit and read for 15 minutes. All right? And I went to the library and I asked the librarian for the biggest book. And I said, I need the biggest book for this silent reading thing we're doing. And she said, hey, that's The Stand by Stephen King. We just got it in. It's like 1,200 pages long. And I said, great. I'm not going to read it. I just need a book so I'm not getting yelled at by the football coach because I'm not doing extra running. I'm keeping Randy Marsh happy. So I get this book, and I literally tell the librarian, I will return it in June when the year closes out. I will see you later. And so I walk back. I have my book. It's The Stand by Stephen King. And to this day, I will tell people, if it wasn't for Stephen King, I would not be a reader. Because
Oh my
I was still a
gosh.
talker. I was still a talker. So I was in the back of the room. Dan Hansen was next to me. And we had third period art, and Mr. Walt was the art teacher. And one day, Mr. Walt comes back and says, John, can you just try it? I said, sure, Mr. Walt, for you, I like you. I'm going to try this book. And I open it up, and it was wonderfully disgusting.
Oh,
It was amazingly. I can still see the guy in the opening scene running out and starting to die, the snot running down his nose, his neck getting large, and the skin starting to peel black, and he rides the car into old gas station, shears off like one of the pumps and crashes, and the guys come out, and that's how the end of the world starts, because the guy you realize was from a lab that has broken a vial, and he tries to run away from the disease that's spreading. And oh my gosh, I mean, if it wasn't for, and then I read everything Stephen King, every horror. I went from that to John Saul. If you ever want a book where, if you hate the good guys winning, you read John Saul, because he has the bad guys usually win at the end. You're like, that can't be. They should not be alive right now. But John Saul, he will keep those bad guys alive for you. I guess he wants to maybe always keep that sequel going, like a good writer, right? Keep that sequel going.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
if I ever
glad
get
you
back to it.
I'm so glad to hear you talking about Stephen King, because I think at this point in our civilization, my depressing thought is that most people think he writes movies or something. He is a masterful, he is one of the best writers
Oh,
I've ever read. His writing,
I tell
it's
everybody,
like watching a movie when you read
yes,
his book, only better,
you
because it's
need,
all in your head.
and I try to tell everybody, if you have not read Stephen King's On Craft,
On
I think it's called On Craft. All right.
mm,
And I never finish it because I always read the first half when it talks about his life story, where he literally, he's written this thing. And this is what I tell the kids. I'm like, guys, we don't know Stephen King unless you do the editing process, because
mm,
the book that made him what we know today was sitting in the trash can. It was 17 pages, crumpled up, thrown in the trash can. And his wife, the better half, picks it up out of the trash can, goes to the desk, straightens it out, and starts to read it and says, hey, I think you got something here. I think you can continue this. And of course, it was Carrie, and the bidding war that he got over Carrie was, I mean, this guy was a teacher back in, before I was born. So he was probably in the 60s, 50s or 60s. He's making no money whatsoever up in Maine. And then to hear how he gets called home and they drop that huge number on him because it got into a bidding war. And oh my gosh, I just love his story. I love his story. I never have read the second half of the book is how he writes, and
yeah.
how his son, I never get there because I
Oh,
love the story. Let me go back and read the story again. That's what I like right there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, yes. And so from Stephen King, I start a buddy of mine. It was like, because I was all horror, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, One of my favorite books is called Lightning by Dean Koontz. If you ever get a chance to read Lightning by Dean Koontz, it was amazing. Here's what's amazing about silent reading. So I'm teaching my first job ever. I'm in California, and I institute silent reading. Everybody's going to read a book for 15 minutes. And I'm reading Dean Koontz. And it was all right, nothing astounding. But because I'm reading it, one of my students picks up a Dean Koontz book and starts reading it as a sixth grader. And he's like, Mr. Dutton, you'd love this book. And I was like, all right, I'll read it. It's Dean Koontz book. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It's one of my favorite books to this day. Dean Koontz on Lightning. I can sell that. I can make anybody a reader just by telling the preface of that book. Just listen to me for about 2 minutes, tell you about Lightning. And my kids are running to the library. And I'm like, no, it's not going to be in our library. You have to go to our public library.
Right.
You got to go to Chin Center and ask to find it because Lightning is not here. But oh my gosh. So The Stand and Lightning are my two, what I call them are impact books. What is the book that made you a reader? And those are my two impact books. Now, I was still not anywhere near a writer, okay? Not a chance. We are here today because I am the accidental author, okay? That's totally what it is. I am now I enjoy writing, but not like what, save the stuff. No, I write it, throw it away, whatever, lose it. I try to tell all my students, you will have a folder. You will make sure you save everything. Even if it's a great opening line that you never touch, you have it. Maybe someone else will use it later on in life. Hey, here, you need an opening line? Come in. Psst, I got him right here. Like the big trench coat selling opening
Right.
line.
I got a line for you.
Yeah. So I'm like, still not a writer. Like to write, love stories, love movies, all that stuff. But it all started with Alice Mergler. So Alice Mergler has this thing she starts with called the Prince William County Poet Laureate. Okay? And I get this phone call. John, I need poets. What do you got for me? And it was at this time where I have just been teaching narrative poetry. And so I have this whole lesson that I teach how to get your prompt and how to do quatrains. And we use Rhyme Zone. If you haven't checked out Rhyme Zone, it's great for writing poetry. So I get all the kids writing, and I say, okay, like we had Armadillo for A, angry armadillo, because we do alliterate. You have to do. Because I trick them into grammar. It's a grammar review because they, in this generation right now, I don't know when it started, but they don't know grammar. They really don't know anything about grammar. And so if I can get a grammar lesson in, we're going to do some grammar. So I have them take their paper and fold it in half and open it up. And you got to start with a noun and a verb. But because it's alliteration, because we're doing poetry, it has to be. And I tell them it's easy to do this lesson because you number 1 through 26, and we're going A through Z. And so we're going to go a simple, boring sentence for each of them. So like ants argued, okay? And then and so we go through all 26, and then I'm like, all right, now that's boring. Now let's add an adjective in front of that noun.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And then let's put an adverb behind that verb. And now you have to, but here's the catch. It has to be the letter A because that's what we're doing. Angry ants argued aggressively. Okay, so now, don't you want to read that? Isn't it better than the first boring one? And so then I talk about articles, and then I talk about a prepositional phrase and prepositions. And so by the time we're done, we have this great sentence. And so we have 26 great sentences. And then I give them, pick one, because you just wrote your opening line of your poem right there.
Mhm.
And so it was something about armadillo, and so I take armadillo. I can't remember the sentence, but I know it was armadillo. So I take armadillo and I show them rhyme zone, and I dump in armadillo into rhyme zone, and all these words appear. And I said, I am going to do a challenge. I challenge myself to use all of these words in a mono rhyme. So I used all of those words to write this poem that I taught the kids. Okay, and I wrote it for me because as a writer, I entertain myself. I mean, I'm not. If I'm going to write it, I want to make myself enjoy it. So I wrote it for me because one of my lines I wrote is Armadillo went to a room to read Waiting for Godot, because every English major out there knows that Samuel Beckett's masterpiece is boring. And oh my God, I'm like, really? Waiting for the Godot is basically now an idiom for you're waiting for death, and that's all. It's the symbolism in this thing, and that's all I got out of it. And I was like, I don't remember any of it, but I remember that title, so I threw it in. I threw it in my poem. Now, okay, so I tell Alice, gives me this call and says, "Hey, I need poets," and I'm like, I'm teaching. It was probably in the middle of the day, and I answer it because it's Alice, and I'm like, I'm in a lesson here. I'm teaching narrative poetry, and I'm like, I'll just send you what I have. So because I have written now Armadillo as my main character in mono rhyme. I've done a story of Armadillo in limerick. I've done a story of Armadillo in Cinquain and haiku, and so I have stories of Armadillo throughout the spectrum of poetry. So I'm like, I just shoot her these, and I'm done with you. I've submitted to you, Alice,
Check it
and
off.
check that box. And so then she's like, John, you have to read one of these poems in front of people. And I'm like, adults? What? I'm like, kids, I can talk in front of kids till I'm blue in the face, red in the face.
Surprise!
At this time, Robert Scott, who is I think he's now a teacher or a principal over on the western side of Prince William County. I want to say Battlefield or Gainesville. I think it's Gainesville. And he had this little open mic way out in Gainesville. So I get Alice and we hop in the car, and it's 7:30 at night in November or December or whatever it is, and it's dark. We get lost a couple times. We finally find it, and it's packed. There's probably 20, 30 people in there, all just to read their stuff. So I have Armadillo Lost her pillow. And I still remember some of the stories that were being told. And I get up there, I read it, and as I'm walking out, people are like, oh, that's a good story. That should be a kid's book. That should be a kid's book. And I'm like, I'll think about it. So I've done my piece in front of adults. They seem to like it. I'm ready to go. Alice, let's do it. And so we get to the crowning ceremony of the very first Prince William County Poet Laureate. And Robert Scott gets up in front of me and starts reading his poem. And he drops the word Blythe in the very first sentence. And I look at Alice and I said, I'm not winning this one. Because I'm like, Alice, he just dropped Blythe. I'm reading Armadillo Lost her pillow. I'm not winning this thing, So of course Robert goes on and wins it in the first one. And now people are enjoying my poem. So finally I'm like, all right, if you're going to do this, writing, you got to devote time to it, right? I mean, it's a chore. It's a job. Yeah. So I started writing. I got some stuff, And I didn't, and this is another thing I tell the kids. You don't want somebody who's going to blow smoke up your butt. You don't want someone who's going to say, "Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. That's good." No, you want the person that you respect enough that says, "Man, I love this part, but you lost me here on this part." Or this line
Yeah.
right here is total garbage. You got to throw that out. That's the person you want. So I'm looking around because people are like, "John, you can do this. All these are great." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not believing you. I'm not trusting you. I got to go find someone I don't know." So I got on the internet, writing groups, and there was one right by the rails pops up. So I go to Facebook and I type in "right by the rails," and I get a Facebook page. And I keep asking for somebody to read my stuff to see if I'm going to be a writer or I'm just going to call it a day and see you later. Well, Dan Werner from Right by the Rails shows up. We're at Grounds Central Station. It's a little coffee shop in Old Town Manassas. So I'm waiting there. He comes in. We introduce ourselves. He sits down. I just sit there. I give him all my stuff, and he just starts laughing. He starts laughing through the whole thing. He laughs at this one. He laughs at that one. He laughs at another story. And I was like, damn, I guess I'm a writer. Because I convinced him. I don't know this guy
Make 'em
from
laugh.
Adam. I don't know this guy from Adam. And he's liking my stuff. So then it just hung around for a while. And my mother was like, you've been talking about that so long. You just need to get it done. So she paid for my very first book to be done, Armadillo Lost.
Oh,
And there it
Yeah.
is. And here is she, of course. "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, my pillow, my pillow. Oh, where did you go?" Of course, she loses her pillow. And she goes, storms the house. She's not having a good day. But of course, don't worry. She does find it at the end. That's all I'll say.
I
And
love that.
funny, you know who did the artwork? Um, Alice's stepdaughter, Erin Mergler, is an art teacher over at Porter Traditional School, and she was the one who did all the artwork for me.
I love that
That
artwork
is
too.
fabulous.
That was my dive into being
A
a writer.
Now, John, I'm gonna get in so much trouble because we never did your
I,
bio. So,
Oh,
I know we're
sorry.
doing it now because now everybody's
yes.
like, this guy's super cool.
Who
This is
is
fun.
this
Who the
guy?
heck is he?
Okay, so you win, Karen, bio time.
Okay, bio time. This will give y'all now that here's a little backstory. So now that you're all enamored and excited about all these stories John's been telling you, who the heck is he? All right. This is just a little short. This is a short little bit. Just to give some people a little bit of information here. This is the bit lighter bio version of who
Okay,
John Dutton is. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm reading it, y'all. I don't memorize stuff very well. Uh, okay. John Dutton has taught language arts to middle school students in Prince William County, Virginia, for more years than he can remember. Seeing that the life of a teacher is filled with stacks upon stacks of papers waiting to be graded, he prefers spending his time as a classroom scribe, writing alongside his students. He enjoys writing poetry and short stories because anything is possible when pencil hits paper. In January of 2015, John began hosting Spilled Ink Virginia, which is an open mic night celebrating the written word held on the fourth Friday of the month at Jirani. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Correct, Jirani
Okay,
Coffeehouse.
great. Jirani Coffeehouse in Old Town Manassas, Virginia. It's open to all writers, authors, poets, or scribblers. All are welcome to read or listen. Please see his website. Y'all go to his website, www.spilledInkVA, capital VA, Spilled Ink, Virginia, y'all. www.spilledinkva.com. John has published 3 books, Armadillo Lost Her Pillow, Argument at the Airport, and Billy Pug's Bad Day. And all of those are available on Amazon. So that is a very tiny little bio about who John Dutton is.
My
So,
fourth book's coming out. I'm doing the second edits right now. It's called The Great Escape. It's a new twist on an old tale. It is uh it is on the gingerbread man. So
Oh, fun.
oh. So, okay, I want to hear a poem, but I have to say that what has struck me this entire time is that for me, I sometimes feel that poetry is
hold on.
a
Yes.
Hey, Casey, I was calling you to explain to you what the Chipotle is.
Okay.
I'll call you right back.
I don't need it today. I'm on a Zoom call.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
Thank you.
All right.
He's a
Oh.
working man, y'all. He's a working man. He has a real
Yes, I
job.
am.
I oftentimes since being in poetry, like I've met so many poets who are like they've known they're a poet since they were 6 months old. They've been writing every day since they were this. They're also they're very poety. Like they're very abstract kind of folks. And I sometimes don't feel like I fit into that all that well.
Oh,
But you you offer an entirely different like entryway into writing that feels concrete and accessible and fun and like
Joyful.
yes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ah, I love this. I love this about I cannot imagine how many people you have brought to writing
oh yeah.
by
Yep.
making it feel that way.
Yep. Now, um, so my fourth book's coming out. It's with the editing process, and I get to show the students. I'm like, because they always think it's one and done, right? I've written it. It's done. I'm done. No, no, no,
Right.
no, 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 no. No, you've got to do the editing process. Let me show you the email trail here. This is me versus and my publisher. All right. Look at all this. I say something, they say something. I say something, they say, and it keeps going until it's done. Because remember, it's not done, it's just do. Okay, that's what writing is. It's just do. Now, the whole spilled ink came about because Robert Scott said, and this is the truth. He said, "You know all that stuff we write that teachers put in their bag. It's meant to be read. If you write it, it's supposed to be read. It's supposed to entertain people." So his open mic sort of went away, and we needed something else because we needed a place to share our work. And so we started at Ground Central Station, and that was, I mean, you get 12 people in there and it's packed. Okay. And so we went over to Jirani's at Jirani Coffeehouse. And Jirani, now you can have, we get 25 a couple days. We average about 15 to 18. 25 to 30 is a great night. But that all came about from Robert saying, it's meant to be read. So I wanted a venue for people for writers and poets and scribblers to come out and share their stuff. And what's great about it is I get former students coming. I have parents bringing their children. We'll have one of the best nights we had was 7-year-old got up and read his poem on red and then his poem on blue, and so it's just it's in my classroom over there by sign that says just write and you'll be right. Okay, you got to put something on the paper. Just write and you'll be right. Don't be afraid. Listen, I can't help a blank page, people. I can't help you with that. You got to put something down and we can make it great. Trust me, I'm going to tell you. And so I give my kids a lot of contests, and I'll give a plug for the Virginia Writers Project. He always reaches out and wants 10 10 students every issue. They do 3 issues every year. And I know I've got students of mine that are now, they're in there all the time. And so it's what's great about being a teacher is you actually see the people that are just into it, where you help switch that, flick that switch, and they became a writer and they're loving it. And they show up at Spilled Ink, and a lot of there's like 3 or 4 girls from Colgan who always show up and tell their stuff. And writing's awesome. Writing's just a great outlet because you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just write.
Did you serve Prince William as a poet laureate?
I am the poet right now. I am the reigning poet laureate for the next year. It was from 24 through 26. So that is my 2-year reign as the poet laureate.
What project is most dear to you that you're doing during this time?
Okay, I will every year at Benton Middle School. So if you're out there listening, it will be February 18th this year, 2026. We do ScribbleCon, and I invite poets, authors, scribblers to come on in and teach lessons. So yes, Angela, Karen, mark your date for February 18th, because you'll be here teaching whatever you want, whatever you love, to show your passion to. Right now, usually we've done it 2 years now, I believe. This will be year 3. And we're averaging about 60 to 65 students and parents. And that's the best thing. We invite the parents in, so you write alongside with your students. And I love it. I love seeing mom sitting next to their child and just writing. And then we share, and it's just a good time.
Oh,
so
I love that.
That's called ScribbleCon.
That's awesome.
And then this year, we're going to also try to put on a literacy night. And this is the very first one. I have the date. I want to say it's going to be in the 3rd week in March. I'll have to check. I'll let you know. But I thought we are doing the literacy night, and I said I volunteered for this one because I know how Coles Elementary runs their literacy night, because I'm always the guest author down at Coles Elementary for their literacy night. So I'm like, hey, I'll just call Miss Fletcher, who's down at Coles, and I'll go pick her brain and say, all right, they want me to do this. I'm stealing all of your plans. Done. All right. And so I've already sat down there with her, and she's like, all right, we decided I'm going to try to get maybe 10 to 12 of my writers who just have a passion for writing, and basically come in here, and whoever shows up and wants to hear about literacy, we'll do some book plugs, and we'll do some, how I became, basically what I told you tonight. How did you become a writer? Tell the world your story. How did you become a writer? Is there anything that happened in your life that made you a writer? So that's the plan for Benton Literacy Night this year.
I love that. Now we're going to run out of time.
Oh,
and we haven't even heard you read a poem.
All right.
Oh gosh.
So should we check out your website for any of those dates, or is there another website?
Not yet. I just got the A-OK on those dates yesterday. So I will be putting that up. I will tell you, the website is sort of just who we are. The Facebook page is where I put a lot of information on. And if you're out there and you do send me an email, I will put you on my mailing list, because I do a newsletter like twice a month. Like tomorrow night, we do, on the 2nd Friday of the month, we do a Zoom session. So, and we get people from Boston or California jumping on to share their work or just to listen. And then on On the fourth Fridays of the month, that's the live version, and we are at Jirani on the
Okay.
fourth
Mm.
Friday. All right.
Great. Thank you. And I'll put all that down below in the about section, like the
Uh,
Facebook page, your website, all of
Oh,
that. So it'll be
exciting.
easy. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure I heard Alice was on before, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she showed you the 2 poetry books
She
we've
did.
done. Yes.
Mhm.
I'll
Ah,
get it on Amazon.
That
All right. So
was available on Amazon, folks, in
this
case
is
you
available
didn't
on
hear it.
Amazon.
this is the brand new one. Um, I can read you a poem out of there. I can read you the title poem. And if you want, I can read a poem about my dog.
Yes.
All right, we'll do a dog. Let me do this one first.
Okay.
This is if you hand a poet a microphone, written because I am the host of Spilled Ink. A microphone is calling and I must go. Rhythms and rhymes I do so. My adoring fans are here just to see me. I'll perform anywhere as long as it's free. As I step onto the stage, I hear their pleas. I'm supposed to perform 1, but now I'll do 3. Bright lights announce my presence. Just my walking on stage brings so much pleasance. After all, the emotions I have stirred, my words truly must be heard. With every couplet, people rise from their seats, stomping their feet to the rhythm of my beats. I disregard the host's instructions as I wink at a brunette. I add 3 poems, a short story, and a memoir to my set. After all, I'm the reason fans are here. It can't only be for the free beer. As I pause a few minutes to find the right page, the host's face grows purple with rage. Let me stop for a photo and sign autographs. I'm the only one tonight who knows his craft. Of course, you need my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook too. I'm doing this for all of you. Drop your forks and listen up. Now's not the time for another cup. I have other places to go in this town. So folks, I guess I'll see you around. I'm here every month just for you, bro. A microphone calls my name and I must go. End peace.
Oh my God, I love it.
All right, this is the dog poem that people enjoy. So this one is called Walking My Human. And I have it on my phone. I have branched out. I have become a writer on my phone because normally I'm like, I need paper. Nope. I was like, all right, I will be one with the world of technology today. Use my phone. All right, walking my human. Each day I walk my human. I love watching his moon change the farther we get from home. I know he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, as he often forgets my name. He calls me Ucker, or he confuses me with a duck of all things. I'm not a ducking dog. What a fool he is. I'll sniff and point and eat so much juicy grass tips that he thinks I'm a cow. I'll wander aimlessly and take him on these monstrously long walks. My God, he needs it. He's got a spare tire with him, and we're not even driving. He's fat, and I'm not talking pH fat. I love it when we are about an hour or so into the walk, and he gets those zombie eyes. I'll wait for one of my friends to come out, Sammy Squirrel or Robbie Robin, and then I will bolt. Man, I can sometimes hear his shoulder pop out of his socket. I haven't knocked him over yet, but you can't say I'm not trying. My human pampers me. He cleans up my poo, sometimes getting it on his hands or shoe. He'll chauffeur me around town to some of my favorite designer stores, Petco or Off the Leash. He drops a bundle of cash at these stores just for me. Oh, you'll die for those mani-pedis at the salon. They're not cheap, but I'm worth every penny. Everyone stops to compliment me. And not once have I heard anyone tell me, hey, that's a good looking human you have there. Nope. If you haven't gotten yourself a human yet, you're missing out. I'd go get one today and let your entitlement begin. see you later when I'm out walking my human.
You're
Oh,
right, Karen. Joy is like the word for
Oh
John.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pure joy.
Thank you so much for being here today. We do have to wrap up, but I really thank you for being here. This was so uplifting. I feel so
So much
happy. My
fun.
face hurts.
I
Like,
know, right? Yeah.
oh,
yeah. This was great. And I think that permission to maybe it goes back to that card of mimicry because it's like I s when I see you writing, I feel permission to write,
yeah,
and just as I am,
just
like
right.
just
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 right, and you'll be right.
yeah,
Just right.
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for that. So now I need a prompt, but I feel like John gave a gave a bunch, but I usually do a prompt that comes from the show, and I don't know, like part of me just wants to say just just write. But Karen, don't you think all of our guests, one of the things that they have encouraged, um, and that's like putting it mildly, is sharing the
Yeah.
poetry. Like I
Yeah.
think every one of our guests, that's been huge for them.
You
Um,
can't let it sit there. It's made to be enjoyed. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
made to be shared. You know?
Yeah. So maybe I think that might should be our prompt today. Like
That's a great idea.
because some people probably have never shared their poetry, and then
No,
and then some of
I haven't.
us we kind of come and go with sharing our poetry. Like I'm in a non-sharing phase. I've been in it for
Yeah.
about 4 years, and so,
Okay, you need to nip that.
so I
That's
might
long
need to
enough.
take my own prompt.
Right.
But
That
I think
happens a lot, Angela, at
yeah,
Spilled Ink, where we're there and we have the slips that we hand out because we're going on year 12 for Spilled Ink, and I have a log of everyone who's ever been at Spilled Ink, and I try to jot a few things down what they've have read, and a lot of times I'll be handing out the slips, and they're like, "I'm just here to listen." And I always do this. I always put one down there. I said, "Hey, maybe you'll be inspired,"
Yeah.
because it always takes one time, and then you become a long time. One
yeah,
Yeah.
time up there, you brave that mic one time, and you will be coming back for more. And people do it all the time. You just got to
Yeah.
take that one step, Angela. One little step.
Yeah. I
so
think the sharing's really important.
yeah,
I think if you don't write poetry, I'm just gonna hijack your prompt a little bit.
do it.
Because I think sharing is definitely like that is the spot on theme, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
If you don't write, you might not be a poet.
right.
If you don't write poetry, find a poem, share that with somebody,
Oh,
Or or
or write in response to that poem. Write a poem about that poem.
Or if you're just a different type of creative, remembering to share your work. If it is drawing classrooms with, army stickmen, if it is
Right?
planting flowers, if it is, whatever it is that you create, whatever goodness it is that you put out there, be sure to share it. And
Yeah.
and
I'm
so
with you
yeah.
Yeah. And think
because my
outside the box. You can
I
call somebody to share something. You can call them on
Yes.
the phone.
yes.
You don't have to leave your house.
And
Mm-mm.
it's amazing when I walk around the school, the artists that we have. They're amazing. And I'm like, guys, here's what you got to learn. You got to do a little writing because you see my books here. I've got to pay for the artist, okay? But you guys have the talent that you can
Mhm.
do your own book. You can write
Yeah.
it and draw it, and then if you need help, you go find someone. You don't want me to help you, go find somebody else. Go find somebody that you will share it with. Go
Mhm.
find that person and
Yeah.
go do your own book.
Yeah, like make a little collage for a
Yeah.
friend. I just made one for one of my girlfriends the other day because she's family. I just don't know what I would do without her. Like I get so much oxytocin just having a cup of coffee with her. Like and so I made her this little collage in an Altoids can so she and it was from a story that she told me. And anyway,
Oh,
and so you can do things like that and share, like share these gifts that you're given, you know. I think
Right.
that's really important.
You know,
So,
you don't want it, you don't want your writings to be found after you have left this planet in a shoebox somewhere and like,
mhm,
oh my God, I never knew that about this person. Oh my
mhm.
gosh, this is amazing stuff. I'm like, no, don't wait that long. Don't
yeah.
wait
Yeah.
that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think people are out there waiting for your gifts. Like I think if you have that gift, if it's for a reason and there's someone maybe who needs it. And like I'm getting chills and my eyes are starting to feel teary because I'm like, no, no, wait, that's true. That's really true. Like so if you're
Mhm.
feeling it and you make it, be sure to share it because there is
right.
someone who needs it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, amen. Amen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's poetry is a great outpouring of emotion. I mean, you write a
Mhm.
poem on anything,
Mhm.
get your feelings onto the paper, and somebody needs to read and go, oh, I felt this exact same way. I'm glad you
Hmm.
said this.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the thing.
glad you
It's a
said this.
communal
People
thing.
need to hear
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
totally, yes.
Yeah.
Find your kindred spirit through writing because
Yeah.
they're out there. They're out
Absolutely.
there.
Well, thank you
So,
so much for being our guest today, John.
Ah,
This was wonderful. We
thanks,
appreciate you
guys. I
letting us
appreciate
use
it.
your break. Um,
Sure.
and keep in touch.
I will.
All
All right.
right.
I hope to see you
Thank
at
you.
Spell Day. Hope to see you at ScribbleCon, Literacy Night. Don't be strange.